give you some updates. McDougal is a person of interest, has been cooperating to some extent with investigators. Person of interest has been.
Good afternoon, you guys. I hate to have to come and do a live for something like this. My heart feels broken, as I'm sure so many of yours does as well. So we are waiting for the press conference. The news is reporting that they did indeed find little Audrii Cunningham's body in the Trinity River. Let me get a good stream for this. All right, so we are just waiting for the press conference to begin. It's supposed to start at 4 o'clock today, Central, so should be any minute. They were just testing the microphones a second ago. I appreciate you guys being here. This is just so, I don't even have words. I feel so heartbroken. Law enforcement there really did an amazing job in not giving up on Audrii. They've worked nonstop. And although it's not the outcome that anybody wanted, at least she can be laid to rest peacefully. It looks like they're going to start.
Good afternoon. Thank you for being here today. I want to first start by thanking
Uh-oh, what happened to their volume?
and to the community members who have been.
Sorry, guys, that wasn't me. That was the press
us
conference
since
that
day one.
they muted out.
I also want to say thank you to Trinity River Authority for lowering the water levels so that the divers could reach the area, areas of interest. At this time, I sadly announced that Audrii's body was located at the Trinity River on the U.S. Highway 59. As a result of today's developments, I will discontinue the Amber Alert for Audrii, and I want to thank DPS, Department of Public Safety, for all their help in this alert. The information that we have gathered in this criminal investigation is substantial. The Polk County Sheriff's Office investigators, the Livingston Police Department, and the Texas Rangers, the game wardens, the FBI, Harris County Sheriff's Office, the San Jacinto County Sheriff's Office, the District Attorney's Office, in Trinity County and Liberty County. It's just an outpouring of love from all of our law enforcement partners. My heart aches with this news, and I express with my deepest sympathies and condolences to everyone who knew, who cared for, and loved Audrii. The Sheriff's Office, we will continue to process the evidence that has been gathered to ensure that the justice for Audrii. And at this time, I will turn the podium over to the Polk County District Attorney, Ms. Shelley Sinton.
Thank you, Byron. My name is Shelley Sinton, and I am your Polk County District Attorney. I just want to take a few moments to explain how we're going to move forward from here. Based on all of the evidence that law enforcement has collected, they are in the process of preparing the appropriate arrest warrants for Don Stephen McDougal. At this time, we believe the appropriate arrest warrant is going to be for capital murder in the death of Audrii Cunningham. He is currently still in jail under an unrelated felony charge here. I understand that this is a very difficult time for Audrii's family and for our community. The substantial law enforcement resources that were marshaled by the Sheriff Lyons, I think, should show you that this county and law enforcement, they will come out when they need to protect our children. And the assets that we have been made available to Polk County to protect our children have been substantial. And at this point, as Sheriff Lyons said, he'll continue to collect the evidence and process that. The District Attorney's Office is going to stand right beside them and follow through, and we promise that you can assure that the District Attorney's Office will be just as dedicated to this case as every one of these law enforcement officers that are standing behind you to do what is right for Audrii and bring justice to our community. Thank you. At this time, if you've got some questions, we'll open it up to a few questions.
Any indication of how Audrii was killed?
I cannot speak to that.
At this time right now, we have transported Audrii down to the Harris County Medical Examiner's Office. At that time, we will await their results to be able to determine the cause and method of her death.
But evidence suggests murder.
We believe that there is enough evidence, yes.
Yes.
Can you tell us did Don Stephen McDougal lead you to that location on the river where you found her body? Did he tell you where to find her?
That was evidence that we was collecting through the cell phone analysis, as well as through our videos that we were able to collect, and some of the information that we received from him, we were able to pinpoint and set. There were several points of interest that was turned over to us, so that we were able to develop, and thank goodness and by the grace of God, one of those places of interest we were able to locate.
As I understand it.
What evidence links McDougal to the murder?
Evidence and right now, folks, when we start talking about how we linking evidence to McDougal and linking evidence to this case, we want to be very careful on how we do that. I will feel safe to say this is that there is substantial evidence through the evidence that we've gathered, and some of that evidence was even gathered by the wonderful witnesses and wonderful folks out there in the social media who sent us videos, who sent us pictures. Some of that, even that evidence helped us to be able to come up with these locations, as well as the evidence from cell phones and as videos to pinpoint these locations.
Can you tell us the condition of the 11-year-old's body and if she was dressed?
At this point right now, until we get all our information back from the medical examiner's office, we don't want to release any information concerning Audrii and condition of her body.
Sheriff,
What directed you to that portion of I-59 and the Trinity River? What directed you to that area of I-59 and the Trinity River?
That area is one of the first areas of our concern points of interest when we started our search on Friday, or midday Friday, and again, that's going to be developed from some of the evidence, and then yes, there was some points where he did give information, because there were several places that he said that he had went. So it wasn't a location where he said he took her, but there was a incidents where he said these were locations where he had gone.
Without this evidence that you talk about, would you have been able to find her where you found her? Without the evidence that you just described?
Yes.
You would have found her there?
We would have found her not through not through him, but we would have found it through the evidence that we collected from the analysis from phones and videos would have, yes.
Was she visible to the naked
No.
eye?
You used a sonar. You used a sonar boat. Texas EquiSearch was out with their sonar boat, scanning the bottom of the river for her body. They are the ones that discovered the body. Is that correct?
No.
The image.
I'm not going to say who exactly or what agency discovered her body today. I will say this, that due to the lowering, we were able to contact TRA, Trinity River Authority. They slowed down the outflow from the reservoir, and it allowed the water to go down, and her body was discovered there in the water. But I'm not going to say whether it was Harris County or Montgomery County or EquiSearch. It was a conglomeration of a lot of love and law enforcement networking together that helped discover her.
Sources have told us, though, that Stephen McDougal was the one that told you to lower the river, lower the level of the river. We've been told that he actually told you to lower the water on the river. Is that true?
We talked to TRA on several occasions about lowering it. When they got to the point, or they felt they were safe to start lowering the river, we were able to get them to do so. Whether or not Mr. McDougal gave us information on lowering the river or not to be able to locate her, that's information that we do not want to release at this time.
Time for one more question. One more question.
Is there any evidence that location, McDougal told you guys that was one of the locations where
He did advise that was one of the locations that he had gone. Not that it was saying that she was there or any other location, but we know that he went there as well.
Shelley, Sheriff, is there some discrepancy? Will you be seeking the death penalty?
Until we get all of the evidence and all the autopsy reports, we're going to have to hold and work with law enforcement to determine what is the best solution to this case. If the evidence supports that, that is something that we're going to look into.
Is there any evidence she was held somewhere else, or was she killed pretty much the day that she disappeared?
We do not have any evidence at this time that's showing that where she may have been held somewhere else. But again, we are still processing mounds and mounds of information and data. Mr. Bob, last question.
Is there any evidence that there was anything used to keep the body underwater?
That is information at this time that we do not want to release.
Do you have any approximate time?
Thank you all very much.
Thank you all for your questions. Thank you all for all that you've done for us to help bringing Audrey home.
Sheriff, a message to our happy birthday.
Heartbreaking information there from the Sheriff of Polk County. Audrii Cunningham's body has been found. He's saying that his heart aches along with everybody in that community, all of us, giving his condolences to the family. Body found at the Trinity River at Highway 59, and the sheriff's saying that they're working to get justice for Audrey.
And in the wake of this news, the Polk County DA saying warrants have been issued for Don Stephen McDougal. He will be charged with capital murder in Audrey's death. He was a person of interest very early on in this case. He does have a criminal history, and in fact, he is in jail right now on an unrelated felony charge.
Such a tragedy.
All right, so definitely not the news that any of us had hoped for. I'm shaking, sorry. Stephen McDougal, they are issuing an arrest warrant for him for the charge of capital murder against Audrii Cunningham. I'm sorry, I don't know how they get through these press conferences. I don't know how they do it without losing it. I'd be blubbering away. They have already transported Audrey to the Harris County Medical Examiner for cause and method of her death. He did say that online sleuths actually helped solve it by all the photo tips and videos that they sent in. They said analysis from the phones and videos have provided enough evidence for prosecution to proceed with charges. They had TRA lower the dam earlier, and her body was discovered there in the river. McDougal did say that this was one of the locations that he had gone to, but he didn't specifically point them to this area. The DA said that if evidence supports the death penalty, they will proceed with that. Law enforcement said they have mounds and mounds of information and data, thankfully. There's so many of these cases, there's just not much information other than rumor and speculation. But in this one, man, that Facebook group, they dug in, they dug deep. And Audrii's mother, she deserves an awful lot of credit. She's the one that shared all those screenshots. Had she not done that, had she not carried on that conversation with him, Audrii may still be out there rather than being able to be put to rest. The sheriff would not release if Audrii had been held underwater with anything. I never put it in my videos, but it was there. You can see it in others. He was selling things the night before, and part of what he was selling was some weights. And one of those weights was not a set. It was a 25-pound weight, and the picture just showed one while all the other weights were, being sold as sets. So it was speculated that he had possibly used a weight, and law enforcement, they just said they would not release that information, and I think that kind of tells us, what we need to know. So, yes, Stephen, they are issuing an arrest warrant for capital murder charges, and I will follow this case till the end, and I hope you guys are right along with me. My prayers and my thoughts are so with Audrii's family, their entire community there in Livingston, Texas, her friends, her classmates. This is going to be very, very difficult for everybody. So please just extend your thoughts and prayers and be kind. All right. I'm going to get off here. My voice is very shaky, as you can tell. But we'll follow this case through. Thank you guys so much for being